What's the story, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of Kicking and Streaming. Today we have a very special guest, first person on the show, Marcus Epps. Just introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, hello everyone. I'm Marcus Epps from Jackson, Mississippi. 25, currently a player for Timbers 2 here with Aaron Malloy. Honored to be on the first episode of Kicking and Streaming.
Here we go. Yeah, we're teammates and roommates, so I thank you for coming on the first episode. We can start by talking about your journey early on as a kid. Was Mississippi like a place where it was full on soccer, or there were other sports? Or
Definitely other sports. In Mississippi, their soccer was definitely low on the totem pole. I started out just because I had two older brothers who started playing soccer first at like 14 and 11, and from PE, that's how they learned soccer. But they loved it, so my parents really dove in and supported them, and at the time I was just born, so I grew up on the soccer field.
So they are big influencers on you being a soccer player.
Huge influence. My oldest brother, he started later, so he wasn't playing as much. But my middle brother at the time, he was all in it. So my dad actually helped found the organization that I grew up playing with. Yeah, so when I was born, 2 years old, I was already on the field of the organization. So
that's sick.
It was special.
Back at home, you were used to playing with older kids. I remember we were having a couple of conversations.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because the organization, my dad and another group of locals in Jackson, Mississippi, there wasn't many kids who wanted to play soccer. So we had to get friends and family who had kids who played basketball originally or football originally, who wanted to try out sports, or their parents just wanted them to have something to do. So we had to form multiple age groups into one. So I was playing 3 years ahead for my first 10 years of soccer, So, and it was a great situation, because it was more of a family than it was like an organization. So soccer really was like home to me. We would have to stay on the field, my brother would have training, and I would have training, then my other brother would have training afterwards. So we'd literally be on the field for like 4 hours, giving like different people's rides, or staying at so-and-so's house after practice. It was definitely like a family organization more than it was like soccer.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of myself playing back at home in Dublin. We if you're a good player, you always played with the older lads, and that was on the street. That wasn't even with the teams, and they would test you. Like they'd leave one in on you. They'd 50-50. They wouldn't hold back, and they'd be testing it. You know what I mean? See if you can hang with the lads, and then next time if you held yourself well and you done well, you'd be able to play with them. But there's a couple of times where I got hit too hard where I was off moaning and like, I'll kill you.
Made you think about if you want to do this,
So it was good. So we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago on away games. You sharing rooms with other families, and so talk a little bit.
Yeah.
About
So
that.
like how I mentioned, it was our organization. My teammates at the time were people who were really close to families. So we would go on away trips, and club soccer here in America, we did club, and at the time it's pretty expensive to play club soccer and to form a team with club soccer. So we had to merge different age groups to do what we can. So I played 3 years up. There would be a few guys playing 2 years up, and then someone that's their true age group. So when we would travel, not everyone would have the funds to go every weekend, because we tried to play as much games as we could, because there was not much competition in state in Mississippi. So not everyone had the funds to get a hotel room or travel every weekend. So a lot of guys stayed with other families and ate at other families' houses, or went out to eat with them for dinners when we were away games. So it was very, very close knit, and like do what we can, use the resources.
It seems like it was a community. You guys helped each other out, no matter what it was, whether it was on the field, off the field type of thing. So that's good to have. It's good. That's awesome.
Exactly. It was fun, man. It's definitely different, because there were times where we almost had to forfeit a tournament because we didn't have enough players who could make it, or we couldn't form a team because we didn't have the numbers. So like, a lot of families and a lot of the kids, pitched in and helped that, and I credit so much to that, with not only the opportunity for me to play, but the understanding of the game, that it's more than a game, you know, that soccer's universal. It transcends just the sport it is, you know.
Are you still friends with some of the guys you played with at a very young age back in Mississippi?
Definitely. All family. Every time I go home, I'm in constant contact with me, like in constant contact with them, and I consider them family. Like, we've been close ever since I was 2.
That's quality. That's good to have. I know a lot of viewers are probably from Ireland, Dublin right now. So can you explain the different levels before you even got to college? Like, what was your ladder, so to speak?
Okay.
Yeah,
definitely. So you know, at the time where I was playing growing up, there was club soccer. So every state, every city, and had like a club soccer team. You know, it wasn't abundant everywhere in the country, but most states had club teams. And then with club teams, there was rec, which were guys, you know, who were trying soccer for the first time, or they were playing and they couldn't quite make the select team, and that was the next level. Was select would be the top tier, and those guys had like cross state tournaments, across country tournaments. You can be nationally ranked, regionally ranked, you know. Select was a real deal. And then at the time when I was like 14, they started making academies. You know, that's what you start to see around the world. I'm sure Ireland has, like, you know, you have your professional team, and then they have like some type of division of a club connected with them. And that's what was forming when I was starting to play academy team. So you had like your Chicago Fires, your New York Red Bulls, your FC Dallases. They had their own academy teams, and that was a little above select, but it was new. Yeah. So at the time when I was 15, 16, I actually moved to Chicago, you know, by myself to play with Chicago Fire Academy, because at the time I was playing select with my club in Mississippi, and we were actually like number 5 in the nation, you know, constantly winning state. Like, we were doing really well, but it wasn't much of a challenge, you know. And so hearing about the Chicago Fire like opportunity, obviously that was a professional club, and in Mississippi we didn't have any professional teams close to us. So it was a huge opportunity for me. So luckily my parents supported that and let me go live with the host family and go play academy for 2 years. And that was the highest tier I took. You know, and at the time it's the highest tier, and even now it's the highest tier you can take as far as a youth in America to play.
Yeah, that must be a big jump. I mean, like moving away from home at such an early age. How did you adapt to that?
Oh, it was huge. You know, like I had to go live with the host family. You know, I was living in a whole different city. Like, I didn't know anything about. You know, Mississippi is pretty small. You could you could relate it to most you know, most countries who don't have the same amount of resources as, you know, the U.S. But it was definitely challenging in that aspect, getting used to a new family, getting used to a new team, a new level, you know, because in select I was the guy, you know. I could go and score like 3 goals a game.
You were still the guy at Chicago, though.
It took a while, honestly, because at the time, like, I didn't know. I probably knew 4 drills. You know, in Mississippi we only played possession and scrimmage. You know,
just
like,
opened up your mind to the whole world.
My mind. I didn't know any passing drills, any like technical drills. I didn't know tactics. It was just
so you had to learn fast.
So I know, like, the first 3 to 4 months it was challenging. I wasn't even a starter for the academy team, and then my dad moved up to finish the year for 3 months, because it was a lot to handle between host family, school, and a new team, you know, and I went there for soccer. That was the main thing. So my dad moved up for the last 2 years to help me settle with everything else so I could focus solely on soccer, and that was a big help. And ever since then, you know, in that year, so like the first 4 months I was, you know, not starting, wasn't doing well, and then by the end of the year we made playoffs. I was leading assists, second in goals on the team. You know, we went all the way to nationals. We finished second or third in the nation. At the time, that's my first year. So it was definitely like a whirlwind, man. It made soccer real for me, you know. It went from a love to, you know, a passion and a career. And I know I want to do this. So it was a big experience, but I'm very thankful for it.
That's class. So that's the ladder to being able to go up to college. So now we can go into the fun part.
Yeah.
You went to USF, where USF, I believe it's like 50,000 people.
Yep, huge school. Man.
So yeah, we can talk off the field first. Like, how was the nightlife there?
Oh man, Tampa is a lot. You know, it's a destination city. So you know, as far as the off the field and the university and the area, it was amazing, man. Like I said, coming from Mississippi where there's nothing to do. Okay, and you go to Chicago where there was stuff to do, but you're underage, you know, 16, 17, whatever. Yeah. So college was definitely like a whirlwind, man. It was a great experience, though. I love USF, you know, go Bulls.
Yeah, same myself. But I think it's though, like, back at home in Ireland, going to America, it seems like a last option for kids. Sometimes they don't want to go over, but I think it was the best decision I've ever made. If I was 18 again, 10 times over, 10 out of 10, I'd come over to the States and attend college, get an education, play football as well. So I mean, for me, it was the best of both worlds. Like graduating from high school to taking a gap year and then realizing how important education really is, because you're not going to have football for the rest of your life, you know what I mean?
100%.
Retire, whatever, mid-30s, and then you have the rest of your life to go to, whether that's soccer, whether it's not. So for me, being a Nittany Lion, going to Penn State was huge.
Yeah.
So going off that, like, after a win at UCF, what was the typical night after a win?
Oh man, USF, we would play hard because it was a good program. We had a lot of internationals actually at our school, so most of my teammates at the time were from different countries, so that alone was a good experience. But everyone had the similar mindsets. You know, this was all new to them, like how you said, coming from a different country and coming in. So we always played hard, and then after a game, we always enjoyed ourselves. We partied hard too as well. You know, we had a soccer team house where, as much as possible without affecting soccer, we would, obviously get together and enjoy ourselves and like get to know each other and have fun throughout the campus. And parties were pretty sick. Yeah,
same at Penn State. I think one year we actually tried to have a dry season. So for people who don't know what a dry season is, you try go the whole 3-4 months without touching any alcohol. Like, go now, you take care of yourself. But it's really hard because you're at home, you play against a team that's top 25. You go and win, and you're like, you really want to just like let loose. You want to celebrate. But there were times where the captains and the leaders will say, okay, like, we don't have a game for another week. The soccer house is always there.
Yep.
And I mean, it's the best time of your life, really. But I think it's good, like, going out every single week. I think it's a burden on the team.
Definitely.
It takes its toll because the season's so short. But yeah, having big wins at home especially. I believe sometimes it's good to get everyone together and have a good time. Especially, I think it brings the team closer. Definitely, in a way.
Yeah, we had a year where we were during a dry season as well. You know, we were pushing it, but we were struggling in the beginning part of the year. I remember coach was getting on us for like 2-3 weeks, and we couldn't get it together. And so, like, a few of the older guys on the team and the captains, you know, we brought the team together and just was like, you know what, forget this. We're just gonna drink. We're gonna talk about why we think we're messing up, and like get it settled. So we had a great night, you know, ended up turning to a party. But it was fun. Yeah. So we showed up to practice the next day, man, and coach was like, why y'all hungover? Because everyone was like smashed. So why y'all hungover? Like, da-da-da, we got a game in 4 days. Like, this is not what we need. And we go out, man. From that game on, we didn't lose, bro. So it was,
I can talk about how important the culture is. I mean, my last year at Penn State, we had a lot of freshmen starting. I think up to 5-6 freshmen starting, and it wasn't down their ability. They're talented, unbelievable players, but being a Big Ten school with a lot of freshmen starting is frowned upon. You don't really see that. But we literally almost had everyone there for summer session. So for the whole 6 weeks before the season, we are taking classes, hanging out all the time, getting to know each other. And once you get to know someone a little bit more, they become like a brother, like a family, and you want to fight for them. You're losing 1-0, 10 minutes down. You're gonna fight for your team. You're gonna fight for your brother. That's just that a little bit extra than you usually would if the team. Because I felt as though at Penn State 2 years ago, we had a really talented team, but we didn't do as good as we should have. But the following year, I think we started the season like ranked 120th in the nation, and we finished the season 13th, ranked 13th. So I think we lost 2 games in the regular season to Indiana and Stanford, which are two top schools.
Yeah.
So I would, if I had to pick one thing that helped us get that, I think it would be the team culture.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was huge. So let's talk about the soccer part of it.
Yeah.
You obviously played in the wing, scored a couple of goals, a few assists. Playing soccer with your boys. Like, can you explain that feeling?
Yeah, in college, just coming from academy to college, it was like you want to go in and kill it. I'm sure it was the same for you when you came to college, because that's really the only track you have to get into the pros. So you want to take every minute, every game to the next level. So coming into USF, I've been on a few visits. I was, highly recruited going into college. So I remember going on my visit there and seeing that they play good football. So I wanted to go there. And so when I got there, like I said earlier, there's a lot of internationals. So, man, it really helped me, gain so much experience of the game.
Yeah.
Playing with someone where your midfielder is English and your striker is South African and your 10 is South African and this guy's German. Everyone has a different style of play, so it helps you not only in the team setting, but for your next development of the game. So when you go into the pros, it's like you're used to playing with guys from different cultures and countries.
No, for sure. I can speak off that too. Like at Florida. Freshman year I spent at Kaiser University, and we had probably 4 Americans in our team. The rest were international, and it was great. We had Swedish, German, English, Irish, Northern Irish, and just their background helped us learn from each other. Like, we had a lad who played for Chelsea Academy for a couple of years, and probably one of the most technical gifted lads I've played with, and just kind of learning from him and learning from other lads. What definitely helped me move on to Penn State. Just kind of opened my eyes to how good college actually is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I played NEIA, and I think out of starting 11 of them could have played D1.
Exactly.
So it definitely helped. So how old were you when you realized you wanted to play in the MLS?
I would say when I went to Chicago, so when I was like 15.
Okay.
Before then, you have dreams of playing, Barcelona and Chelsea and all that. And then when I got to Academy, I realized how real it is and how many good players out there,
Yeah, how close you are too.
Exactly, and how close you are, yes. Yeah.
So it's just like a little taste.
Exactly. So, at the Academy, like I was saying before, you train at the same facility as the first team. An hour afterwards, you use the same resources, all that. So it's like you go to class all day, and then after class, you're sitting there watching the pros, the level. You're doing the same drills, watching them, and it's just like, you get that hunger. So at that time, I knew, all right, this is something I want to do. I want to go to MLS, and I want to kill it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you went to the draft what year?
2017.
2017.
Yeah,
Can you talk about draft day and how that experience was for you?
Yeah. For me, because every year they send out a list for the combine, who makes the combine, and MLS hosts a MLS combine, and so your college season ends, your senior year ends, and then combine list comes out, and the combine itself is, I believe, January 4th or 7th.
Yeah, mine was totally different to you. I can explain mine after yours, but yours seemed so much better.
That setup, it was more into it. So at the time, so January 4th was combine time. So when the initial combine list came out, I wasn't even on the initial list because my senior year I got injured.
Okay.
For a majority, I only played 10 games my senior year. So I was in a little wave, where teams knew about me, but I didn't
kind
play.
Of no man's land in a way where,
So I went to an excess combine, other different teams, they might join together. So I believe it was Orlando City, Columbus Crew, Salt Lake, and 2 more teams. They hosted their own little mini combine. So I went to that. I did well, and then I got put into the combine list. So once I made the combine list, we went to the combine. It was in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, so they host it. All the teams are there. They come, they talk to you. They tell you, this is the percentages of guys that make it. This is what it takes to be in the next level. All the things you need. And you play 3 games. It's our combine was 6 days. Okay. So day 1 was you arrive. Day 2, you do your testing. They test your speed, agility, and jumping. So explosiveness, you get testing, and they rank 1 through 10, top in the combine. It's a whole deal.
Yeah.
It's articles everywhere trying to talk about who's what, projected where. So I actually did well on my agility. I was number 6, I think.
Okay.
Top 6. Jumping, I was top 7. And in speed, I think I was 11th or something, in the combine. So, and then you go and you play your 3 games. And then at the end of those, they have a draft. So, like, all the teams get a selection of who they want to pick up out of the combine. And so, man, that was an experience and a half.
I've watched a couple of those over the years where you dress up in your suit, you have your man, your dad there, you're looking good and stuff. So, can you tell us a little bit more about what round you got drafted, and did you have any idea who was in for you at the time?
Yeah, so when I was at the combine, you get to interview with certain clubs. They request to come and interview with you, and so I interviewed with 5 teams, and Philadelphia was one of the 5. So I got selected by Philadelphia in the second round. I was the 4th pick of the second round, so 25th overall.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the time, we finished the combine, and you could either stay another night and then attend the draft, or you can fly back. And at the time, I was taking another class, so I flew back, and I didn't attend the draft, but I remember being at home watching it because 2 other players on my team were at the combine with me. Yeah. So we all were back on campus watching the draft together. We're sitting there.
I'm taking this. You're taking academic very serious.
Very
right
serious. My mom was not gonna let me slip up with the academics, but we definitely were watching the draft. And I remember having a clue. I had an agent at the time, and he was telling me, keep your eye out for the end of the first round, beginning of the second round. I was projected to be taken, and I remember that I was watching the draft, and San Jose. It was the next 3 picks were Minnesota, San Jose, 3 teams that I didn't talk to. I know they weren't going to pick me. So I remember stepping outside with another one of my teammates, and we're just talking, like getting our nerves out. And I just get a call, like yo, did you see? So Philadelphia traded up to pick me. They traded with San Jose to pick me. And so, man, it was a surreal moment, to know that all your hard work for the past 17, 18 years were going to something and you actually be a professional.
Yeah.
So.
And it goes to show you how much Philadelphia rated you by trading up. Like, they actually paid. So the way it works is, like, Philadelphia actually paid money to San Jose, let's say.
Yeah, $50,000.
$50,000 to get that next pick and got you. And you said after a week you signed. I remember we had a conversation after a week. So
after they picked me, I got on the phone with the GM and the head coach, and they told me how much they were excited for me to come. And the combine ended on the 10th, and everyone had to report for preseason 10 days later. So on the 19th, so 9 days, we had to be there. So it was a whirlwind. So you're nervous, you're excited, you're a whole bunch of emotions. And I remember going to Philly. I get all my stuff, I land there. You stay in a hotel. You have in a locker room full of guys that you look up to, and yet are going to be your teammates. And like the first couple of days of training was surreal. Just to be able to see the level. And to see that you're at that level and to still be learning stuff, So I remember after my first week there, I was training well. Dead tired. But I was training well, and they offered me a contract. So I signed my first contract after that first week.
Class. With my experience with the combine is I got the invite, and I was over the moon with it. And on previous years, before my year, it's like a 6-day combine, LA or Orlando. So we were in North Carolina on a cold weekend in December for 2.5 days. So we got there Friday night. We done our testing Saturday morning. I'm not going to talk about my personal testing. I played well in the game.
That's all that matters.
With the ball at my feet, I played well. So the testing, it is what it is. But and then I had a couple of interviews. And what was funny enough was I think I had 7 or 8 interviews. Not one of them was Portland.
Really?
Yeah. So the way it worked is the combine was the weekend. That was in December. The draft was in January, and I was speaking to my agent as well, probably mid to the end of the first round, and Portland Timbers were coming up, and I really need to use the bathroom. I was like, no, I don't know. I haven't checked them. I don't think it's going to be them. And got a text off my agent saying it could be ... could be Portland. So I sit back down. So the way I had it set up, I was in my girlfriend's place in Jersey. Had it on the TV, and on the left I had me ma and her side of the family on this laptop, and on my girlfriend's laptop I had my dad's side of the family, and there was probably like 15 people on each, so we could experience at the same time, you know what I mean? I didn't get a chance to go home, so my dad's stream was 10 seconds ahead of mine, so they were shouting and screaming, yeah, Aaron, he had no idea, just heard my name for the first time, so I'm like, what is it, and then it turned out I went to Portland, and it's been a good journey so far, so I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, we can talk about you. How many years have you been playing in the MLS?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
With how many clubs?
With 2 different clubs. Well, this would be the third. So
yeah.
First was Philadelphia for 2 years, then New York for a year, New York Red Bulls, and then now here at Portland.
Portland. Yeah. So how many MLS goals have you scored?
5.
Yeah. Is the feeling from scoring 1 goal, is it the same emotions for scoring the 5th goal? Like, explain that in front of a crowd as a professional soccer player scoring a goal in the MLS.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, I know my rookie year I was lucky enough to be getting a lot of minutes, you know. So I remember my first goal was against Columbus.
Okay.
I scored. I was playing really well all game, but I hadn't scored yet.
Yeah.
It was like 70th minute, and the ball comes to me. I score, and bro, those emotions, it was just like surreal.
Really?
You know? Like I have footage of me doing a celebration, worst celebration ever. I didn't know how to act. I was just like excited.
I'll put it up. Yeah. I'll put it up on the Instagram
Please,
page.
save that
I'll put
one.
it up on the Instagram page.
But yeah, man, and it doesn't change even to the last goal, bro. It's just like you're just overcome with emotion, seeing the fans roaring, just having that in you, that moment of just like, man, this is what I dreamt about. You know, you're literally living in a dream at the moment. So it's surreal, man. It's surreal.
Would you reckon your first goal is your favorite goal you've scored?
I don't think so.
Because I've seen a couple of your goals.
Yeah.
They were really good.
They were good. Yeah.
Some bangers in there.
I would say my Salt Lake goal was my favorite. Yeah.
Explain me the goal again.
Yeah. We're playing. It's like the 20th minute, I believe. Fafa Picot, one of my teammates, great player. He turns this guy and takes off down the line, you know. And so it's me. He's on the ball. He's dribbling down the line. CJ is in the striker. CJ Sapong, another great player. And I'm on the other side. And I'm watching. I'm like, oh, Fafa's in. He has the guy. And I see him take his touch. And all week in that practice, we worked on cutting the ball back because we were getting to the end line a lot and crossing and weren't getting there. So they're cutting it back to the PK spot. So I remember running down and I was like, oh, he's going to think about the PK spot. And so I cut in and he plays a perfect ball and then just thumped it against Nick Romano.
Left foot?
Right foot. I easily could have scored left, but I opened all the way up.
That's class.
But yeah, I think that was my favorite one. But.
Yeah, awesome. So we go on now to the fun part, probably the part where you'll get to pick your 5 best players, your 5-a-side team of professional players maybe you've looked up to or anything like that, starting with a goalkeeper and work your way up.
Okay. Let's see. Goalie, I'm going to have to go Buffon. Okay. I love Buffon. This guy's class to play at that high level for so many years, just smooth on it. I would have to put, let's see, we have to go back line first. Growing up, I'm going to give a reason why the team is going to look like this. Brazil was my favorite team. Okay. You know, we didn't have like subscriptions to games, so the only games we could see were World Cup games. And so me growing up, Brazil was just like the dream team. So I will have to put Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho, Zizou, Zinedine Zidane, class player. Ooh, this is tough.
It's a squad already.
That's a squad already.
It doesn't matter who you have up front. You're gonna win games, but just those 4 players.
I'm an attacker, so I might skip on the defenders. I'm gonna have Neymar, and then I'd have to put Henry.
Henry as a sub because you already have 5. You already have a full squad.
Oh wow, yes,
full squad right there. Terry Henry as a sub.
No. Okay, if that's the case, hold on. We have Roberto Carlos, Zizou, Buffon, Dinho. Yeah, Neymar is a sub. I have to go R9. And then Neymar's a sub.
All right. No, I like that. Now we can go into. You might get a few text messages after this if people are watching. So the 11 aside of the best players you have played with over the years.
All right. So I'm gonna just say that this might be a little off. Everyone I've played with
I'm sure
phenomenal players.
If I ask you this question
tomorrow, it'd be different.
Yeah. But so right now, what are you feeling?
Let's see. In goal, Andre Blake. Baller. This guy's unreal in goal. I know you've seen him.
I remember, I trained with Philly for probably 6-7 times over a couple of years, and this guy trained twice. Yeah. Trained twice, and every time you do like a tournament at the end, and his team won every single game, time, just like not conceding goals. He's just so confident and calm, and he was a fantastic player.
Yeah. I had to put young Aaron Malloy in there, because I don't know if everyone knows, but at the time when he was training with Philly, I was on the team. So Aaron comes in with them when we were doing our tournaments, and he subs it. I was on Andre's team that day, and Aaron was on my team. He comes in balling, gets a goal, assist, goal. And we were all like, "Who's this college kid who's out here balling?" But
so I
give him an honorable mention.
I'll be the sub first. First guy. So what happened was I was actually with Reading United in the PDL, so they've helped me out so much. And every year they pick 3 lads, the 3 top players to go up and train. And at the time it was me, Kamal Miller, and Felipe. And we went up and trained for I think 2 or 3 days. And it was the last day, the day before pre-day game, if that makes sense. And we had a tournament there for probably 25 minutes. That's when I shocked myself. Like, I played so well.
You're balling, bro.
Jim Corns. I was like, who's this ginger guy? So no, I had a good time, and I think I took a picture with the lads at the end with the trophy. And
we had to find that.
It's actually on my Instagram.
You got it still.
So, all right, Andre Blake as a goalkeeper.
Andre Blake. Let's see. Right back. I'll put Keegan Rosenberry, great player. He's another guy I played with in Philadelphia.
His technique is unbelievable.
Right, left foot, doesn't matter.
Trying to him too.
Let's see. This is actually very tough. I would have to put Aaron Long for center back. Was one of the center back. Played with him at New York Red Bulls.
National team
guy, a really good player. Like I said, I'm sure I'm missing a lot. I'm gonna go Jack Elliott. Jack Elliott is another good player I've played with.
English guy from Philly.
Yep. Left back. Let's see. I'll put. Wow. This is tough. So I'm just gonna go with names because it's gonna be too hard to figure out the best. So I go Amir Murillo. Another guy I played with at Red Bull. He's really good.
Let's go with the 6 right now.
With the 6, Harris Medunian.
I could have said that at the same time. The same time. This guy's left foot is a joke.
Unbelievable. Played Champions League, played everywhere. He's great. He's
player. Actually a guy who gave me like a lot of confidence. Like when I trained with Philly, he put his arm around me, asked me what position. I said, I'm a 6, and I just learned a lot from him just from a few days. He's unbelievable.
Sounds about right. He's a great guy.
I talk about his ping pong skills real quick. Is that good?
I don't want to gas him up. If he's watching, I don't want to tell him he's good. But he is amazing at ping pong. I'm better, but we leave that. Let's see. As an 8. Wow.
I have to put Chara in there.
Yeah, Chara. Yeah, that's true. Diego Chara. Phenomenal player. Just class. I have Chara there. And as a 10... I would have to put Kaku.
Another baller.
Yeah, he's another baller. Left footer for New York Red Bulls. Really good guy. Great player. And then wingers, Blanco.
Okay.
From Portland Timbers. He's really good. And El Sino. Oh, my goodness.
You've got that.
This guy's unreal.
Captain.
You have to put some highlights in this one. You have to put highlights.
For anyone who doesn't know, El Sino he played for the Brazilian national team. A couple of appearances.
Oh yeah.
Plays at Philly right now, and this guy's he's a joke. Just 5-star skill.
Everyone's a cone to him.
There's a time where he done the Alaska around Schweinsteiger and
twice.
The left back. Twice. And but scored from it. The top bins after, and I was actually at that game. But if you're the Reading boys, and we're just like, what just
this
happened?
Guy's unreal. And then if you play with him small side at 6v6, it's just game over. Game over. Great player. And then as striker, I'd have to put Bradley Wright Phillips. This guy can finish any part of his body. If he's anywhere in the 18, right foot, left foot, header, thigh, it's just class.
So that's a squad and a half.
That's a squad and a half. I'll take that one to the bank.
Yeah. You gotta let me know right now if you get a few text messages off your boys.
I definitely am because I'm already getting names coming up.
I didn't see no UCF boys in there. You know.
I forgot.
UCF. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna have to come back and do another one.
In a couple of months, we get round 2. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for coming on to episode 1. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. I'm honored. Thanks for having me.